warning.
Hold it. Today's video is in fact sponsored by me. Or, more specifically, my band, Velvet Dead. We, back in Halloween, released our second album, Diamonds Are a Ghoul's Best Friend, and it features many such delightful tracks as this one. Ooh, and this one. And this one. Delightful. Why don't you go have a fucking look? Because we worked really hard on it, and I'm sure Luke and Harry would really appreciate people showing some appreciation for the ungodly amount of hard work they put into it, and me as well. I was there, I suppose. I did backing vocals on 2 tracks. One of them was on the list of tracks I just showed you. The other one you'll have to find for yourself. Go check it out. And on with the video.
I swear a lot.
Hello friends, and welcome back to Canto 7. So that's what I would normally say, but I have some bad news. You see, last time in the comments, someone did in fact drop a spoiler. You see, they mentioned, irresponsibly, recklessly even, that Canto 7 would in fact include combat.
I can't believe you've done this.
I know, I can't believe they'd tell me that. Why would they tell me that? Why would they ruin it? So unfortunately, I've had to ban everyone, and the series is stopping as of right now. So thank you so much for watching. Fuck off. Alright, jokes aside, let's go on with it. I'm looking forward to it, honestly. Like, we've barely scratched the surface of the dream ending already, but what has already happened has been interesting. The debriefing at the train station, despite taking like 1,000,000 hours, was actually genuinely interesting. A lot of context provided there. The Fang Hunt office are pretty cool, if a little bit uncolorful. The problem isn't the lack of color. The problem is it's 3 like muted, very unsaturated or completely unsaturated shades evenly spread across the entire outfit. You want like some bright white and dark black, and then brown is like little accents for like straps and stuff to make it look, you know, make the outfit pop. The problem with that dude was that it was all spread out, and it was just his color scheme was just a mush. And I couldn't handle it. It was just too much for me. It basically ruined the entire canto. Of what befell our company upon our departure from the Red Case's hands? Immediately combat. All right, yeah, sure. LCCB Ishmael is getting up there in levels, but she's still only level 37. Fuck it.
작전 호출. 입감.
If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. I don't give a shit. People did mention T-Corp, Don, and Rhodia should start with their guard skill to increase their clash power. I looked into it. It makes sense to me. Let's give it a go.
제압을 준비합니다.
Don't tell me there's more of them. We already dealt with them. They got nothing. It was embarrassing for them, other than their general existence, which seemed pretty embarrassing for them. Oh, look, more of them. Why are you guys still doing this? Enemy 9. Okay, that's helpful information. Yes, thank you. So, Don and Rhodia. Yeah. Oh, she's not. I need to get to up type 4. It doesn't matter really, but I'd like to. So we ain't gonna go. We ain't got a lot in the ways of resonance or clash power here. And as we've noticed, LCCB Ishmael isn't a great clasher. Quake rounds, I suppose. Give it a go. Why not? Yeah, fuck it. Yeah, fuck it. It'll be alright. Yeah, it'll be alright. Yeah, it'll be fine. Yeah, I got it.
탈출 개체 확인.
Go on, Ishmael. Oh. Not entirely surprised. They're on borrowed time now, which will increase their power. Gain clash power equal to the value, so they're gaining like, what, 3? At 1 count, gain 2 by next turn. So you kind of want to keep borrowed time topped up, I'm assuming. Oh, she gets a helmet. Hang on, I didn't even notice that. That's cool. I like that. So I'm guessing next turn I'd want them to use this again. I'll figure it out. That's what the early game is like in this case. It's just figure shit out. Oh, screw loose ain't looking great. What is your defensive skill again? You gain tremor as shield, but you don't have any tremor, so it's moot. You would gain tremor from using a screw loose, so may as well, and then you can make use of stuff later on. Your target doesn't have any tremor, so fuck it. And shove will help. Yeah, I got it. Go on, go on. Yes, yes. That is a lot of fun. There we go. She managed it. Go on, Faust. Yes. Fucked. Wow, she hit 2 of them. I should really pay attention to more of what these skills actually do. I don't know, maybe. So this is a dominating success. This is less preferable, so let's get some more borrowed time. If this unit is not in a borrowed time state, gain 4 borrowed time at turn end. Okay, so she needs to leave borrowed time in order to get more borrowed time. So I'm guessing the stagger is kind of inevitable? Don't actually fucking know, I've got to be honest, but figure it out. Well, you'll gain some shield from that, I suppose. It's interesting that we're already struggling with clashes so early in the canto. It doesn't bode well for our team, does it? Ah, she has a little robot voice, that's fun. At least Heathcliff's doing great. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he's doing fantastically. Fun. I love suppress. Oh, I was gonna say, maybe Ryoshu could beat one person. I think she'll be better in focused encounters where we can have her hit them in the sides rather than clash directly, because she seems to be our weakest clasher at the moment. Which is funny because, you know, Ishmael's in here. I'll see if I shall summon the time does what I want it to. If it doesn't, it's not a huge deal. The main key here is to just figure out what I'm actually making use of. Like, what does this shit even do? That's important. Unleashed violence. I fucking love violence. You can do that. Get your borrowed time back. Shove.
교전 시작합니다. 표적 완료.
Ooh.
제압 완료.
Faust. I like you. I'm so glad I like Faust more now. She's become so good. Okay, so it just ended. Isn't she supposed to stagger from this, though? If this unit said to gain more bind and haste next turn, the borrowed time effect expires and the next turn start, this unit gets staggered. So is she gonna stagger next turn? Let's find out. Unless now is the time. Now is the time to do borrowed time, is it? I definitely need to take the time to understand this, because in a boss fight situation, I don't want to be fucking around and getting it wrong, which I inevitably will. I see it happening. I can feel it happening, right? But I need to do the experimentation now,
파도한다.
not when we're fighting the boss with the melee music behind it. She's so fucking cool. Oh, I can't stand it. Hey, she actually won that clash. Look at that. Fantastic. Going into our stride now. Okay, so yeah, I guess Don Quixote's fine. So do you have that grace period of 1 turn where it's like you might want to borrow some more time or you're gonna stagger? Or am I completely misinterpreting what her borrow time, haste, bind, stagger mechanic even is? Which is distinctly possible. I'll try and cut as little of this fight as possible so that when you guys inevitably weigh in, you have all the information so that, you know, it's not confusing. She seems to be very powerful though. She seems really fucking good. I love it. Amazing. Yeah, just knock them out.
파도한다.
They've got nothing anymore. Get him, Ryoshu. Oof. Oh, when they get going, they get going. Oh, when they get going, they get going. Oh, yes. Such a baller combo. I love Rhodia's penchant for unarmed combat. She seems to have a real fucking taste for it across a lot of her IDs. Like, not always, of course. You know, she uses weapons plenty of times, but like, when she has an ID that uses unarmed combat, it seems a lot more natural. Like, yeah, that's something she adapts to really well. Whereas Merceau's is, ironically, a little bit stilted, which is funny because he is kind of naturally an unarmed combatant. Hers seems to flow a lot more. I don't know. It could just be me reading into absolutely nothing, but that's the impression I've gotten from her whilst watching her fight.
타도한다.
방해꾼 하나가 사라졌군.
표적 완전 무력화.
Oh my god! That was amazing. I didn't even understand. Is that the time moratorium shit? Because I didn't even look into it and it absolutely killed him.
도대체 그런 변신 기술은 듣도 보도 못한 기술을 쓰는군.
See, look how boring his outfit is. It needs more solid colors. Instead of just black everywhere with a little bit of white on there and some brown. Like that, get rid of that tie and have the shirt be a more crisp white. Have a bit more accents going. I'm not actually critiquing, like, Project Moon's character design. You know, that's not what I'm doing here. These guys look a specific way for a specific reason. Let me be clear. I'm critiquing him because he chose this. They designed him that this is how he looks. He chose this outfit. The outfit itself, from like a outside of what I'm saying and just this is a general character design, yeah, looks absolutely fine. I have no actual complaints. I'm just taking the piss out of him, that's all. Yeah, we're pretty good, you know, we're alright, we're not bad. So how many broken limbs is that for you guys? Like 20?
야, 이 정도면 혈기 들이고 먹어 죽사발 만들 조건은 되냐?
Hath your ass been beaten thoroughly enough, Squire?
그래, 이 정도면 인정할 수밖에 없지.
Well, fucking better than you. You outnumbered us like, let's assume there were 9 combatants per fight, 18 to 12, and only 6 of us actually fought. There was still another 6 you would have to deal with.
생각보다 괜찮은 놈들이 왔는데? 제 몫을 할 줄 아는 해결사는 언제나 환영이지.
Ah, a prominent character.
이제 보니 너희 전에 워프 승강장 앞에서 떠들던 개들이구나. 되게 바빠 보이던. 아, 나는 로메로야.
Mr. Romero, any new zombie films coming up?
일행이 싸우는데 뒤에서 구경하고 있었던 건가?
Like some kind of giant bitch?
처음부터 구경했던 건 아니고 중간부터 봤어. 어차피 얘네들은 말려도 내 말을 잘 안 듣거든. 그리고 아까 보니까 쉽게 당할 실력도 아니길래.
Oh, but it would have been a different story against you because you're a fucking protagonist, Chan. Is that what we're saying?
이해해줘. 나쁜 친구들은 아니야. 혈기들을 사냥할 때 온갖 일에 겪다 보니 조금 예민한 거지.
That's great and all, but an apology would be nice as well.
이해하오. 그런 존재를 사냥하다 보면 많은 것에 의구심을 품을 수밖에 없을 테니.
That's very understanding of you saying, but I did want to extract an apology from them, perhaps.
사실 나도 얘들 의견에 부분적으로는 동의해. 토벌 상대에 비해서 피사와 하나 옆에서 내건 토벌 참가족과는 지나칠 정도로 분별력이 떨어져.
I mean, I guess Loudmouth Hoodie Boy is kind of... it's a bug on my hand. Ugh. Yeah, I guess Loudmouth Hoodie Boy is kind of a good example of what he's referring to.
나였다면 그런 식으로 조건에 낮춰서 모집하진 않았을 거야.
But alas, it's not up to you because you're not important enough. His friendly smile faltered slightly as he gestured around the empty lot, which would one day become the Millennium Tower.
저쪽 천막 주위를 둘러봐. 뭘 알고서 온 놈들이 있긴 하는지. 이런 건 전문가에게 맡기는 게 제일 안전했을 텐데 말이야.
I'm guessing they're going for numbers over skill, or maybe they're all in on it and they're just sending more people to join La Mancha Land. Around the command tent? We have a command tent? I'm the manager, I should be there. We all simultaneously turn to look at the large, noisy tent.
여러분들 봤어? 저기 입구 쪽에서 싸움 난 거? 정말 난장판이지. 세상에, 내가 이런 놈들이랑 같은 의뢰를 하면서 부대끼고 있어야 된다는 거야.
I hate him. I hate him immediately. I absolutely despise him. I absolutely hate him. The live stream shit, saying wow chat, referring to chat as an entity rather than, I don't know, people's names or you guys. I absolutely fucking despise the modern thing of saying, hey chat. I hate it. I hate it. I fucking hate it. It sounds so bad. I don't care what you have to say about it. I hate it so much. And whenever anyone says it, even in jest, I'm like, I don't like it. I don't hold it against you. It's a modern meme or something along those lines. I don't hold it against anyone who uses it, but I don't like it. I do not like it. It's weird. It is definitely a me thing because like many jokes and memes in the modern like sphere, I'm fine with, and I'm like, hey, that's even pretty funny, despite how cringe they might be. I'll still be like, oh, that's even cringe. I say cringe, even though that in of itself is cringe. It's a fucking mess. But I'm not gonna try and justify myself on it. I just don't like using chat as a term for people. I just don't. It annoys me.
저자는 또 뭐지?
He's streaming, Otis. He's a streamer. Or they're a streamer, I suppose. In the distance, we saw some guy running his mouth and striking several exaggerated dramatic poses at a tiny device, most likely a camera of sorts. I know, it's taking the piss out of people who do my job, but I'm not a streamer, so I get to act like I'm separate. Even though I'm kind of not. Don't worry, I understand. I do. I know this character represents me. Not me specifically, but people like me. I know. It says a lot that I hate him, doesn't it? I wasn't expecting to be attacked today. I know we have all had experience with someone like him in the past. Indeed we have. That guy reminds me of a certain someone. I swear to God, like, I know they wouldn't because I'm such a small fry amongst an already small community, right? Or, I don't know, the Project Moon community has grown in a major way, I get it, but I'm still very much a small fry and I have no delusions about my level of importance in such, right? Because at the end of the day, even if I had twice the amount of subs, I'm still just a guy who likes to play these games and make jokes. Like, there's not much importance to what I do. So I don't presume that they would do this because they probably don't even know who I am. But I swear to God, if they make any reference to me specifically with this character, it's not going to happen. It won't. It will not happen. I'm not important enough. But if it does, I will be so fucking angry. Not serious angry, salty angry. But I will be so angry. It reminds me of a certain someone.
지크프리트처럼 사진을 찍어대네요.
Oh yeah, Siegfried. But Siegfried had class, at the very least. Siegfried was a self-centered asshole, but he knew it and he loved it. Because the entire world does revolve around him. Of course it does. Who else would it revolve around, right? He ran around for a while, visiting every corner of the empty lot, trying to get every detail in the frame. I assume he's not an association member because... would they be okay with this? Unless he is literally like Siegfried, in which he is an association's, like, celebrity fixer, which would make sense. And suddenly started striding towards us in an annoyed gait. Ah, boy, here we go.
이봐, 너희.
I don't consent to appear on your camera, fuckboy.
본인을 불렀는가?
No, Don, please.
좀 다른 데로 가줄래? 시청자들한테 방해가 되잖아.
You stood here, you came over to us.
저희의 통행에도 방해가 되는데요. 그쪽이.
You're in our way? Excuse me? Hello? Fuck off. He whipped his attention back to the camera so he was pretending not to hear what Ishmael said, or as if he decided that her words weren't worth entertaining. Damn.
아, 지금 내가 어디 왔냐고. 너무 놀라지 마. 바로 피사가 있는 16구 뒷골목이지.
But surely you've been here a while. Why did you not tell them where you were? Why only now have you been like, oh, by the way, I'm in District 16? You're shit at this.
맞아. 지난번에 피사 150년산 아이스크림 반영구 통조림 후기 방송 다들 기억하지? 그런데 아쉽게도 오늘은 아이스크림을 먹으러 온 게 아니야.
I know exactly who this guy is. He is exactly the kind of guy who does thumbnails with massive spoilers in them with someone's face occupying like 70% of the thumbnail. I know exactly who he is. I fucking hate him.
저 양반은 아까부터 계속 뭐 하고 있는 거야? 누구한테 말을 하고 있는 건데?
Gregor, you're old and it's a happier place to be to stay in ignorance. Just stay there, buddy. I wish I didn't know.
아마도 방송을 보고 있는 자기 시청자들한테 말하고 있는 것 같아요.
I hate being adjacent to this. I hate it so much.
모종의 방송 호스트라는 느낌이 드는군. 최근 일부 도시에서는 카메라를 통해 간단한 방송을 송출하는 문화가 유행이라는 것 같다.
I hate the fact that live streaming exists in the city. I hate it so much. I can't express how much I hate it. I hate that. I don't hate the writers for putting it in because it's funny. It is funny, but I fucking hate it. Oh no.
무례한 작자네. 꼬맹이, 너무 신경 쓰지 마.
And I hope at the very least that this will do a good job of, you know, conveying to the people who play this game, like, hey, you know those people who have their fucking phone out on the street and are live streaming everything around them and getting in people's way? Yeah, they're assholes. Don't watch them. Don't give them the time of day. They are assholes. They suck. Awful people. Self-centered. Only care about their job and quote-unquote job and nothing else.
정말
No, Dawn.
Huh?
Oh god, she's gonna be like, oh, how amazing.
경사스러운 날이 아닐 수 없고.
God damn it. Let me guess, he's like a really famous fixer.
저자는 3대 해결사 잡지 중 하나인
No!
월간 해결사들 10월호에서 주목해야 하는 신인 해결사 12중 한 명으로 뽑힌 서부 쉔크협회의 까미우날이란 말일세.
I saw the hat, and my brain did go to Sync Association, but I thought surely not. Those guys, I realize I'm wrong now, okay? I realize that. But I was like, those guys have some class, you know? And it's an association. They're not gonna be fucking live streamers. That's like the most official line of fixers out there, the most professional. They're not gonna be streamers. Like, obviously Siegfried gets away with it because of his status, you know, who he is. He's a big deal, so he can just do whatever the hell he wants, and they're kind of encouraging him to be a celebrity, so yeah. But they've ruined Sync Association forever. It hurts my soul.
누누이 말하는 거지만 그런 걸 아는 사람은 됐어요.
Literally, don't pay it any mind, Ishmael. The more attention you give it, the happier they are.
지난번에 버스에서 보여주기까지 했는데 아무도 듣지 않았다는 것인가?
In my defense, I didn't even get to see that dialogue, so it's not my fault.
미쳤냐 그걸 듣게? 당연히 안 듣고 잤지.
Damn. Napping is pretty good, though.
코빗길을 운행 중에 그런 길고 긴 말은 멀미를 유발하오, 돈키호테 양.
Be sure to keep your haranguing to a minimum. Haranguing? I've heard of the word before, but I don't really know it. The grumbling sinners clearly existed outside Don Quixote's world. She was breathing very heavily, a look of admiration clear on her face.
그런 까미우나리와 선수 인사까지 나누게 될 줄이야.
One, you didn't shake his hand, and two, he's not worth the dirt on your shoe. Of course, no one shook hands or exchanged the simplest pleasantries with Camille just yet. And hopefully we never will. Alright, well, vomit rising in the back of my throat aside, let's move on. In which the tale of our young master is revealed. Oh, yes. Oh, indeed. Holy shit.
여기까지 와서 추태를 부리나?
You're right, random person. It is embarrassing. Thank you for pointing out.
와, 여러분 보여? 이쪽은 이번 임무에서 내 보조를 맡은 스바이 협회의 폴라.
What do you mean sidekick? She's way fucking cooler than you fucking loser.
보조가 아닌
착장을 보면 알겠지만 나랑 똑같이 서부에서 온 해결사들이야.
And that is probably where the similarities end.
가끔 이렇게 협회에서 내 보조를 멋대로 붙여서 협력 작전으로 의뢰를 해결하기도 해. 어? 그래, 맞아. 난 혼자일 때도 빛나는 편이긴 하지만 위에서 그렇게 하라는데 뭐 어쩌겠어.
I want Camille to meet Boris. And I want Boris to do the thing he does. You know the thing he does. The discipline. It would make me happy.
그래도 자, 폴라 씨, 우리 팬 여러분들에게 인사 한마디 해줄래?
Ugh. That's right, just don't give him nothing to work with.
싱크 협회와 스바이 협회가 한 자리에서 협력하는 것을 보게 되다니.
It would be cooler if Camille weren't there. I would be more hyped about this if Camille weren't there. I think she's tearing up.
더할 나위 없이 벅차오르는 이 감동, 가슴이 요동치는군.
I'm genuinely worried she's gonna have like a heart attack or something.
매일 영상으로만 본 자들이, 책자로만 보던 자들이, 피규어로만 보던 자들이 직접 걸어다니고 이야기하는 걸 눈앞에서 보고 있다니.
Alright, as much as I do hate Camille, I have to at least give her credit and be like, alright, this is like her lifelong obsession. And like, it's like if you were following people, you know, like actors, creators, fucking musicians, what have you. People who you really, really liked, favorite bands, like I said, favorite actors, for example. And you went somewhere, like even if whether you were there on work or pleasure, it doesn't really matter, but you went somewhere and they were all just there and they were all just milling around and you could just walk up to any one of them and be like, hi. To be fair, that's nuts, right? That's insane. That is far beyond my comprehension. I wouldn't be able to handle that. I'm way too fucking shy. I'd never be able to go up and talk to those people. Never. But I'm gonna, you know, I gotta give Don Quixote some credit. Even if Camille is an asshole and she shouldn't idolize him, I see where she's coming from. And this place is full of people that, the kind of people at the very least, maybe not necessarily the individuals in some cases, but like literally the kind of people she has idolized for seemingly her entire life. Which worries me, because I think this is going to be an adventure where she realizes how shit they all are. And it's going to be very upsetting. Do you know most of the fixers here then, Don Quixote?
구독 중인 해결사 잡지에 나온 해결사들은 대부분 거의 다 모조리 알고 있네.
So yes, basically. Right, if that's the case and if everyone here really are all fixers, then she probably knows who that person is too, right? That person who's been staring daggers at us this whole time. We're so good at making friends. Then who are they over there? That group of fixers who's been staring at us for a while.
어디 보시오, 어디?
What do your dawn eyes see?
벌써부터 림버스 컴퍼니를 알아보는 해결사가 있단 말인가? 이거 참 곤란한데. 그래서 일부러 일면에 본인 사진을 실는 건 과다고 했거든.
I must graciously bow out. Oh yeah, no, I remember that. Yeah, definitely.
본인의 지식에 없는 자들인 걸로 보아서는 등록한 지 얼마 안 되는 조그만 사무소 같군. 모습을 보면 그래도 동부 출신인 것 같소만.
What should be fucking streetlight or something? Or is it lamplight? I don't remember. You know who I mean. San, Mars, and girl with bat. What's her fucking name? Doesn't matter, I suppose.
다행이네요.
Wow.
저분들이 누구인지는 마침 제가 알고 있거든요.
That's weird. Okay.
무엇이? 본인도 모르는 해결사를 안단 말이오? 그대가?
Is she pleased or angry? It's hard to say. Don Quixote stares at Hong Lu in utter disbelief.
알았어. 고개 숙여. 얼른. 같이 쳐다보지 마.
Nah, look, if anyone can stare anyone down, it's Merceau. Like, you would think it would be Heathcliff, but thing is, Heathcliff, at least maybe before, not now, but Heathcliff's too antsy and too willing to start a fight or say something. Merceau could just maintain eye contact for like 10 minutes, just not even necessarily glaring, although he does kind of have a natural glare on his face, like a scowl, but just making eye contact. Completely calm, impassionless, emotionless, and that would surely be the most intimidating thing ever. The Kiryu thing, you know, of just staring people down. He could totally do it. With no consequence either. And if there is consequence, he's well equipped to deal with it.
아까부터 계속 마주보고 있는 중이었다. 눈을 피할 이유는 없었다.
It's like, no, Gregor, this is how I make friends.
그걸 세간에서는 눈싸움이라고도 부르거든. 그러니까 그냥.
Yeah, well, they started it, so whatever.
이젠 저희 쪽으로 걸어오고 계시는데요? 손이라도 흔들어야 할까요?
All of us should now turn and stare, unblinking. That'll get him.
아이, 그럼 이렇게 된 거 만만하게 책 잡히지 않게 다시 쳐다보자고. 당당하게.
Gregor, buddy, I love you, but I think you're the only one who's scared. You know we're there within hearing distance, right?
바로 앞까지 오셨어요.
They're literally talking to us right now, and I'm looking at one of them while saying this to you.
아이씨 답답해. 눈을 왜 피해? 이런 거 수틀리면 바로 육탄전이야. 야, 볼 일 있냐?
Yeah, that's probably the right response.
어? 넌 또 왜 이 상황에서도 실실 웃고 있어?
It's either gonna be really good or really bad.
아, 여러분에게 이렇게 빠르게 소개해드리게 될 줄은 미처 몰랐어서요.
Is it a relative of yours?
인사시켜드릴게요.
Please say hello.
제 동생 가시춘이랍니다.
Oh, she's tiny and looks cool. That's adorable. Little sister?
동생이요?
자식처럼 몰라볼 뻔했지 뭐야. 마지막으로 보았을 때만 해도 내 물음만 했었잖니.
And his little sister's part of a small fixer office. I dig it.
그건 어릴 때였으니까.
You kind of look like a child now, but sure.
집을 나가서 혼자 대체 뭘 거창한 짓을 준비하고 있나 했더니
Well, you know, we did heist a casino that one time. Honglu, tell her about the casino heist.
이게 전부야? 오빠가 만든 세력이?
Alright, I forgot that rich kids' sibling rivalries are all just pissing contests, aren't they?
세력이 아니야, 시춘. 소개해줄게. 여기서부터 차례대로 그레고르 씨.
Say hello to Mr. Gregor.
왜 그렇게 쭈뼛거려? 내 이름은 로즈.
And she's gonna say, I don't care.
됐어? 그럴 시간도 없고.
Yeah, in just as many words. She gave us a side eye before dismissively cutting us off. Oh.
그래. 아, 이제 보니까 키만 자란 게 아니라 시춘.
Honglu's family situation is pretty sad, isn't it?
나처럼 친구들도 많아졌구나. 새로 사귀었니?
To call them friends was a very optimistic assessment on Honglu's part, but that's what he's like. We were all his friends, like when Kanto 1 started, as far as he was concerned, because he's lovely. Because the people who accompanied her were all threateningly sizing us up like they were getting ready for a fight.
정말 친구라고 생각해서 그렇게 묻는 거야?
You could try making friends. Friends are a good thing to have.
그리고 다른 오빠 언니들에 비하면 한참 부족한 편이야.
Well, it doesn't mean you can't have friends.
그렇구나.
You're all embroiled in a big game and Honglu isn't playing.
그리고 가족 중에 몇 명이 여전히 오빠를 찾고 있는 건 알아?
Well, you found him.
안 그래도 저번에 가완 형이랑 만나서 잠깐 이야기 나눴어.
그 망나니 오빠를 만나고도 멀쩡한 걸 보니 우는 어지간해도 좋나 보네.
Is it Jiasi Shun?
여전히.
I'm gonna try that pronunciation, Jiasi Shun. Probably way wrong. I've acknowledged that now. I think back to the time we first met this Jahuan. I can't remember him. His venomous words, that contemptuous look he gave us as we lay there dying, it seems that moment was embellished into a pleasant quick chat in Honglu's memory. Is he part of, N-Corp? I can't remember the names is the problem. Either that or that interaction was what counts as a quick chat for Honglu.
시춘, 아까 들었는데 이곳 일대는 위험하다는 것 같아. 사람들이 실종되기도 하고. 너와 일행분들은 안전하게 대피하는 게 어떠니?
I see, well-intended patronization, and that's probably why she hates him.
진짜 농담이라고 하는 건지 걱정이라고 하는 건지.
I think he's genuinely concerned.
저기 말이야. 난 맹한 오빠랑 세력 아니지. 떨거지들보다 먼저 이곳에 도착했거든.
I mean, you can fire us if you want.
알아듣겠어? 나도 라만 체렌드 토벌 참가자야. 이 장소가 어떤지는 어떤 장소인지는 내가 더 잘 알걸?
Probably, but we've... if there's one thing I can say about how we conduct ourselves is intel has never really been necessary.
참가자라니? 시춘, 네가 이런 걸 참가할 필요는 없지 않니? 토벌 현상금이 필요할 리도 없고.
Well, surely she can turn around and say, well, neither do you.
당연하지. 오빠도 그런 푼돈이나 노리고 여기까지 기어들어온 건 아닐 거 아니야?
Sure enough.
푼돈. 그렇지, 푼돈.
Pocket money. Oh, you mean the money required for the cost of living? Yeah, that.
그럼 아니다. 너도 웨이 씨도 대답해 줄 것 같진 않네.
Mr. Wei? Hongle's eyes momentarily diverted from his younger sister to her posse. There's still a long-haired man who looked towards Jia Xishun as though he was asking for her permission, then walked toward us and bowed deeply and politely toward Hongle. So I'm guessing his little sister joined Le. I can never say that right. You know, the fire punchy people.
안녕하십니까, 도련님.
Hello, sir. I like your glasses. And your clothes, actually. They're very cool.
와, 오랜만이에요, 웨이 씨. 아직도 시춘의 호이신가 보네요.
Whoa!
부족하지만 여전히 아가씨를 모시고 있습니다.
What do you mean? You seem very capable.
안쪽은 위험할 수도 있을 텐데.
I mean, it is an urban nightmare.
아, 시춘. 우리랑 같이 다니는 건 어떻겠니?
Not a fucking chance, and I'm not saying that. She's gonna say that.
도련님은 여전하시군요.
You are still very much you, in fact.
아니, 서로의 목표에만 집중하고 여기서 헤어지는 건 어때?
Called it. I know she isn't mine, but if she can do Tishan Kao, that would make her one of the coolest people we've met so far.
가만 보니까 그쪽들은 불필요한 관심을 받는 데에는 재능이 있는 것 같은데 나는 조용하게 다니는 걸 선호해서.
I mean, you know, we just kind of showed up and then everyone started talking to us. That, I can't help that. We just stood here and then people fought us and then someone live streamed near us. Like, I don't know, we're just a magnet for bullshit.
안에선 구태여 아는 척하지 않으면 더 좋고.
Aw, come on.
그래. 시춘 네가 원한다면
Oh.
그렇게.
Oh.
다시 만난다면 오빠가 적어도 전보다는 더 나은 모습일 거라고 생각했어.
That's just kind of sad.
그렇구나. 네 눈엔 아니었나 보네.
That's an interesting thought, though, because maybe I'm just misremembering or I'm not remembering certain details or anything like that, but we've seen a lot of growth in characters like, you know, Heathcliff, Ishmael, Yi Sang and stuff, and in a lot of cases that's because they had their Kanto, but a lot of people have pointed out that Heathcliff was already going through growth and change before his Kanto, but the Kanto was the big sort of confirming moment which caused him to relax a little bit and be less aggressive, but he was already getting less aggressive as time went on. Probably the moment in Intervallo 2 was probably a key moment to kind of curb his aggressiveness a bit when Ishmael kicked the shit out of him, but Hongle hasn't really changed at all. I don't think. Correct me if I'm wrong, certainly, or at least share your opinion, but I do feel like Hongle hasn't grown or changed since we first met him. He's still roughly as oblivious and still as, you know, soft and kind-natured as he was when we first met him. But he's a character where I talk to it where, you know, you see him talk and I'm like, he doesn't seem like he needs fixing. But that probably means there's a lot that needs fixing that we're just not seeing. He's definitely one of the most mysterious characters in the roster. But I guess she does technically have a point. He is roughly the same as he is when we met him. It's just, you know, the opinion of whether or not he's as bad or if he's fine or whatever is subject to individual opinion.
지금 만난 게 나라서 다행인 줄 알아. 다른 언니 오빠들이었으면 그 곱상한 머리통이 이미 바닥을 뒹굴고 있었을 거니까.
I don't know, I feel like we fought harder boss fights, but then again, you are all rich people, so you probably have ridiculous augmentations.
고마워.
He's very patient. Jia Xishun scowled and opened her lips as though she was about to shoot something back, but she thought better of it, turned around, and left with her posse.
사이 좋은 가족은 의외로 흔치 않잖아. 그렇지?
Ain't that the truth?
왜 날 봐? 난 그 개자식은 가족으로 생각 안 했어.
Still kind of proves the point, though, doesn't it?
아니, 그게
I think Heathcliff's still a little sensitive about this.
뭘 쳐다보는 거지? 동이라도 바라나?
Oh, Gregor.
여전히 변한 게 없네요.
I didn't mean to skip that, I'm sorry.
예전에도 저렇게 까칠했다는 거야?
Just because I want to hear it.
아이고 참.
Yeah, guys, I like Gregor's lines because he always has little bits on the end like this.
아이고 참.
There's a lot of noises and muttering in his dialogue, which I appreciate. Yeah, I think she was always that spiteful, funny enough.
아니요. 예전에도 다른 형제들보다 저를 더 잘 따랐거든요. 시추는.
That's not great.
예전에는이 아니라 예전에도라고 한 것이 맞소?
Still is, yup.
맞아요.
Yep, absolutely.
저것이...
Yisang's expression grew into a complicated mess of emotions as he looked to the ground, unable to speak further.
회의는 저 안에서 하려는 모양인데요.
Luckily, something is happening to break the god-awful tension and awkward silence.
이제 저희도 들어가야 할 것 같아요.
That would be wise. I looked to where Sinclair was pointing at and saw a line of fixers walking into what appeared to be a makeshift command tent. Yeah, we should. Yeah, anything to get away from this. Cool, great, well, good, great, cool, well, right, well. Hongler is a sad character. Why is there combat in the command tent? Why is this happening to us? Of the immensely devastating duel in which our fixer and the sink battled, I hope we kill Camille. Oh, God, I hope so. Oh, hang on, we don't have enough energy, hang on. There we go. I keep, spending all of mine Keflin immediately to try and get Ishmael's level up. She's doing alright at the moment, though. Oh, shit, it's one-on-one and she's her normal... Oh, okay. She's gonna lose, isn't she? I just get that impression.
내가 나설 차례인가?
Wow, this is a command tent. Who are those people accompanying Virgilius and Charon?
반가워서 열심히 손 흔들었는데 봐주지도 않네.
Yeah, most people seem to like to pretend they don't know us. No, this wasn't about Virgilius. Oh boy. Don, please. Don Quixote, who stood next to me, was very gradually starting to hyperventilate. Are you okay, Don Quixote? You want to take a breath or 2 or 20?
비정상적인 호흡 숫자의 증가는 10분 전부터 관찰되고 있었습니다. 생명에 지장이 있는 형태는 아니라 보고하지는 않았습니다.
Thank you, Merso. I appreciate it.
호흡을 끝내는 법은 잘 알고 있다만.
Do you know of a non-fatal way to deal with hyperventilation? Because that's what we'd prefer. Don't want to have to turn the clock. Ryoshu regarded at me with a look that clearly and concisely communicated that she wanted to choke out Don Quixote, and I tried my best to look away. Oh god, I thought she actually started choking her. Maybe she did. Ishmael sighed and stepped forward, sensing that Ryoshu was about to do something we would rather not have her do.
대신 말해드릴게요. 하나 협회에서 온 해결사인가 보네요.
Oh, we've actually got Hana Association Fixer here now. The Hana Association is the one that's overseeing all Fixer Association activities, right? Yeah, they're kind of a big deal. In more ways than one. Some pretty important people in that faction, you know. I guess all the times Don Quixote went on impromptu Fixer-related lectures weren't all for naught. We did retain that information. I never paid much attention to it, but once you hear something enough times, those lectures just have a way of lodging themselves into your brain. Well, duh, they are heading this operation, aren't they? Well, that's not a Hana Association member we know. That name alone clearly carried a lot of weight among other fixers, as the Hana Association fixer, dressed in pure white, walked into the room. They all slowly turned around to gaze upon her. And...
붉은 시선도?
Oh yeah, the red gaze is here as well. Yeah, forgot about that.
세상에 특색을 볼 줄은.
He's not going to be doing any fighting, unless he does. It would be a bit weird to have him get involved in 2 cantos in a row, but I guess I wouldn't complain.
주목을 받는 게 하나 협회만이 아닌데.
This place is filled with superstars. Virgilius, who we'd somehow grown used to seeing after such a long period of traveling together, was commanding the attention of everyone in the room merely by his presence. He's kind of a big deal. That reminds me, I heard that Don Quixote was overwhelmed by sheer excitement when she saw Virgilius on the bus. I'm pretty sure she was on the verge of passing out from the sheer joy of getting to work next to a color fixer. I think the consultations might have killed that particular buzz of excitement.
이게 당연한 반응인 거죠. 베르길리우스 씨는 색을 부여받은 몇 안 되는 특색 해결사니까.
He actually really is a big deal.
다들 보고 있어?
Oh my god.
맞아, 엄청나지? 그 특색 붉은 시선도 왔어. 그만큼 이 작전의 규모가 시시하진 않다는 거지.
It kind of is, though. It's just that he's part of the company we're a part of. You know, the people you told to get out of the way because they were spoiling your shot? Yeah. Yeah, us. Yeah. Yeah, you know, we're no big deal or anything, except we are. Fuck you.
전에 내가 프리뷰로 방송한 거 기억하지? 딱 내가 예상한 대로잖아. 이 의뢰는 도시 악몽 그 이상일 거라니까. 아, 위험한 일이 생기지 않을까 걱정된다고. 난 여러분들만 있으면.
I'm gonna put him through a table.
말세군 말세야. 요즘 것들은
Literally youngsters these days. Can't stand it. Between Camille's non-stop jabbering and Otis's tongue clicking in even 3-second intervals, I wasn't sure which one of the two was more annoying. Which, to be fair, actually, and this is going to be at my own expense as well, I realize to say this, but when it comes to this kind of thing, what is actually more annoying? Is it the person, you know, the streamer as it were, being a fucking overly self-obsessed pain in the ass, or the person stood next to them tutting and tapping their foot and being like, oh, how annoying you are? Which of those two is actually more annoying? It depends on the circumstance, of course. It's why I'm not going to talk about this too much, because I appreciate me yapping on about it will get irritating. Don't worry. We're gonna put a pin in it. It's fine. Thankfully, we weren't the only ones getting increasingly tired of Camille's antics.
지금부터 이 회의장에서 하나협회가 허가한 공식적인 임무 기록용 촬영 외 모든 촬영 행동은 금기로 명한다.
Yeah, get fucked.
발각될 시 해결사 협회에서 벌점을 부과할 예정이다. 벌점에 따라서는 해결사 자격 정지, 등급 강등까지 이뤄지는 점. 각 개인은 잘 알고 있을 것이다.
And when his grade gets demoted, then no one will want to watch his stupid streams.
여러분, 나는 아무래도 여기서 퇴장해야 할 것 같아. 숭고하게 싸우고 나서 돌아올게. 아, 같이 저녁 식사를 하고 싶은 해결사 투표 꼭 잊지 말아주고. 오늘 자정까지야?
I hope he's dead before the vote closes. The Hunter Fixer's cold declaration fell upon Camille and the fixers inside the command tent like a heavy layer of snow. They all began hurriedly fidgeting with their devices, trying to put them back in their respective cases and bags. What, was everyone streaming this? With that, the commotion inside the tent rapidly simmered down.
꼴 좋네요. 저자는 당신네 사람 같은데 턱이 빠져 있는 것 같다만 괜찮은 건가?
Dislocated jaw? Do you mean Don Quixote? The fixer from the Hunter Association asks in our direction, glancing at Don Quixote. Oh no.
신경 쓰지 않는 게 좋다.
It kind of is, yeah, a little bit. Soon, a P Corp employee walked out in front of the fixers.
라만 차례인데 토벌 작전은 이번으로 4번째군요.
Round 4. Cool, good, that bodes well.
이 자리에 모인 모두들 대단히 반갑습니다.
You can just tell by the look on this guy's face that he's absolutely reading a script. Very glad to be here. Happy to see you all. I am pleased to represent P Corp in our joint operation to clear out La Mancha land. For someone who's very happy to see us, he didn't so much as glance up in our direction, yeah.
저는 피사 아카이빙 부서의 3등급 기록직 과장 알레시오. 그리고
I've done this introduction 4 times.
저분은
하늘.
아까
하늘.
만났던 채사라라는 부장과는 다른 사람이네요.
Chisara was like, nah, fuck this shit. I ain't standing in some horrible tent with a live streamer and a bunch of nobodies. That's not what happens when you're a head manager. You just sit at a desk and, I don't know, shout at people.
부장이 직접 나타날 정도의 자리는 아니라는 건가?
I'm an executive manager and I have to be in this command tent. It's fucking bullshit.
자, 그럼 작전 브리핑을 시작하도록 하겠습니다.
There was already a briefing and now we get second briefing. As we were all standing here and sharing our predictions, the employee who introduced himself as Alessio started loading up various images on the monitor.
뭔 거창하게 회의까지 해.
Unfortunately, it's necessary for the plot. We love a good half-hour lecture.
아직 시작조차 하지 않았어.
Yeah, but we had a briefing back at the train station, and that was like half an hour, and this one will be 2. Heathcliff let out a loud, exaggerated yawn. The reproachful glares of other fixers were so palpable that I could almost feel them prickling at my skin.
따로 앉고 싶네요.
It's too late for that, I'm afraid. We all wear the same uniform. Oh, it makes me feel like I'm something of a fixer myself sitting here with all these people. But Dante, you've never done a fighting in your entire life.
저는 말입니다. 관리자님, 이곳과 비교도 아까울 만큼 큰 작전의 지휘를 여러 번.
This is baby work compared to what I've done. I commanded the whole smoke war. Numerous? I wanted to hear more about her story, but the mission briefing was actually getting started. I decided to table my curiosity until later.
앞으로 3시간 이내로 이곳에 등장하게 될 라만 차랜드는 수십 명 이상의 해결사들이 토벌에 실패한 공식적인 도시 악몽입니다.
So we're going for like Saving Private Ryan, D-Day Beaches level of casualties here on this attack?
잠시 희생자들을 위한 애도의 시간을 가지겠습니다.
So someone's going to be disrespectful in this moment. Don Quixote immediately cast her gaze downward with a graven expression, but I could count with my 10 fingers the number of people who seemed to be taking it even remotely seriously. Some fixers muttered amongst themselves that the victims were just fools who were in over their heads. Not like this lot. No, this lot are definitely better. Way better. Yeah, for sure. Even I, with my endless naivety, could tell that none of the fixers really considered them victims. A light buzz of murmurs and idle chatter fills the silence, a look of boredom clear on the fixers' faces as though they've heard it all before.
자, 이제 이 화면에 집중해 주십시오.
We have all of our friends here, being friends. Everyone here likes each other. Definitely. Several low-resolution images began to load on the display, just like my thumbnails.
라만 차랜드가 탄생한 것 자체는 최소 200년 이상은 되었으리라 추정하고 있습니다.
200 years? It's only just shown up here a couple months ago. A conservative estimation, cool.
이는 보고된 사진과 영상들에 찍혀 있는 자재들의 노후 상태로 추측한 결과입니다.
Oh, that's interesting and cool. I like that they've analyzed the locale to that level of detail. That's interesting.
하지만 라만 차랜드가 본격적으로 세간에 알려지기 시작한 건 2달 전입니다. 그리고 이 놀이공원을 이루고 있는 재료들은
People, flesh, guts. It's gonna be something like that.
이미 다 아는 내용인데 뭐 하러 읊고 있어?
It's a briefing, you loser. We need these details.
피사에서는 토벌에 참가하는 모두에게 충분한 정보를 제공해야 할 의무가 있습니다.
Don Quixote's gonna get mad if people keep interrupting, I can tell.
그러니까 이미 다 아는 정보라고. 이럴 시간에 차라리
He's not really muttering anymore, is he?
뭔가 크게 착각하고 있군. 물론 이곳에 모인 사람 중엔 우수하고 꽤 그럴듯한 실력을 갖춘 자들이 있을 수도 있겠지.
But...
하지만 그래봐야 너희 중 대다수는 이런 도시악몽 사건이나 처리하다 죽고 다시 채워지는 널리고 널린 해결사 중 하나일 뿐이다.
We all knew it. Everyone was thinking it. Now someone said it. You're all shit. You're all gonna die. And we'll get in some new people once you are. Moving on.
나와 같은 위치인 1급 해결사조차 되지 못하고 중간에 낙오되겠지.
Grade 1 is impressive, but you do still have a bit too much of an ego about it, I think.
설사 한두 명이 운 좋게 1급이 된다 해도 여기 계신 붉은 시선과 같은 경지는 꿈도 꾸지 못할 거다.
And ass-kissing with dignity is impossible.
그저 쓰러진 채 그들의 전투를 보고 차이를 느끼며 죽어갈 이들이 대부분이겠지.
She is probably right, though. The grin on the fixer's faces quickly faded away as the boisterous fixer fell dead silent.
그러니까 저 하나 협회 쪽 해결사 길잡이랑 비슷하거나 바로 아래급은 된다는 거냐?
The impression I've gotten up to this point is that grade 1 is literally the rank before color, but there is a massive leap between grade 1 and color. Don't know if I'm right, but that's the impression I've gotten up to this point from Runa.
그래도 역시 붉은 시선님이 더 짱이라네.
Well, damn right, he's fucking amazing, and I'm sure she's very good, but she's not a color fixer.
그러니 꼴사납게 자만하지 말고 계속해서 집중하도록.
An effective way to get people to shut up, I'll grant you that.
협조 감사합니다. 계속 진행하도록 하죠. 라만차랜드가 이곳에 갑작스럽게 출몰한 이유는 아직까지 알 수 없습니다.
Magic, Carmen, both, neither, who knows.
이곳이 뒷골목임에도 라만차랜드가 가진 특수성으로 인해 존재 자체만으로 피사에 무시할 수 없는 위협이 되고 있죠.
And yet we're continuing to send fodder.
그래서요. 여기 땅값이 장난 아니게 내려갔잖아요.
I gotta be honest, mate, I completely forgot about you. The fixer from earlier, the one who tried to stop us from entering the scene before scuttling away, slowly started up to us and began chatting us up. Most of us ignored him, but Hongler, ever polite, responds to him in a kindly voice.
아, 그런가요?
To be fair, gathering information, that is useful.
당연하죠. 처음에 적에 출몰했을 때 진짜 장난 아니었다니까요.
God, I wonder what the housing price situation is like in the city. Such a fucked up place with such a disparity of wealth and quality amongst the neighborhoods. What does that even look like?
밀집되어 있는 건물 한복판에 생겼으니까요. 얼마나 아비규환이었는데요.
Oh, cool. So it was like a proper catastrophe when it showed up. Okay, wonderful.
아비규환. 아름다운 단어지.
That is a surprisingly good line. I'll give him that.
P사의 건물들이 대부분 탄성이 좋아서 나타난 공간만큼 휘어지긴 했지만 무너지진 않았어요.
P Corp buildings are well known for their elasticity. Not what I would have expected. P. Plastic? Plastic Corp? We working with plastic here? I don't know.
그래도 라만차랜드가 만들어지면서 주위에 순식간에 퍼져 나오니까 거기 있던 사람들은 다치고 건물들은 죄다 휘고 그랬다니까요.
So 90% of the population in that area got away homed. In a fucking house was just called on them, except instead of a house, it was an entire fucking theme park. That's a special attack to have. What's your big move? I can summon an entire amusement park. Weirdly specific, also very disruptive.
그런 규모의 사고치고 생존자가 많은 편이기는 했죠. P사의 특이점으로 세워진 건물 안에 있던 사람들은 무사했으니까.
That's a pretty good singularity, actually, especially for a setting like this.
지금은 출몰 지점 반경 3km까지는 어떤 건물도 세우지 않는 걸로 규정되긴 했는데.
Is La Mancha Land getting bigger, perhaps?
겨우 3km?
Just 3 kilometers.
피사의 특이점을
Oh,
활용한
God.
건물들은 신축성이 높아서 그 안에만 있으면 웬만하면 무너지거나 꺼질 일은 없습니다. 주거지에 라만차랜드 외곽이 걸치는 정도는 괜찮다는 판단이겠죠.
They decided that that's the furthest / closest it could be while also not wasting too much stuff or wasting money. I get it.
P사의 모토가 어디서든 안전한 보금자리를 만드는 것이라고는 하니까요.
That's a really useful singularity.
하지만 그 사달이 났는데 여기로 이사 오고 싶어할 사람들은 아무도 없을 테니 땅값은 쭉쭉 내려가다 못해 지하를 뚫었다죠.
With that in mind, I'm honestly surprised that the higher-ups of P Corp aren't more concerned. I'm surprised they didn't send something big to crush this straight away. If it's affecting their bottom line, their singularity, literally their bottom line that badly, you'd think they would have just amassed their resources and fucking crushed it. But of course, we're not seeing the whole picture on that front. Who knows what other fires P Corp's like higher up agents and members and stuff need to put out on a daily basis. There's a lot of intrigue going on in the city, lots of little skirmishes between corporations and syndicates, and I mean, if the blue reverberation is anything to go by, there might be 1 or 2 rogue color fixers running around at any given time, abnormalities, distortions. It's distinctly possible that higher ups of P Corp were just tied up with other shit. Most likely is that they underestimated La Mancha land and just don't care. But these are all distinct possibilities.
한때 여기 주민들끼리 참다 못해 피켓도 들고 직접 자경단을 꾸려서 라만차랜드에 쳐들어가기도 했다니까요.
Pickets and all, what, they led a protest on La Mancha land existing? So that's what those banners were about, huh?
사진에 보고된 것처럼 라만차랜드는 겉으로 보기에는 화려한 놀이공원의 모습을 하고 있다.
No expense spared.
여러 보고 중 공통된 증언은 반경 8km까지의 인원에겐 음악 소리가 들린다는 것이다. 이로 인해 호기심을 품은 시민들이 섣부르게 접근하였으며 대다수가 돌아오지 못했지.
Most of them. So do we have any like witness reports? One of the most commonly heard testimonies, or testimonies as our Phoenix Wright playthrough has indicated. I'm guessing what little information we have has come from people who managed to walk away from the music and then report about it.
그 음악 소리에 사람을 최면 상태로 유도하는 효과가 있을 가능성은 없습니까?
Probably.
그 점 또한 간과하지 않을 수 없습니다. 아무리 여기저기에 접근 금지 표지판을 세워놓아도 이를 무시하고 들어간 방문객들 또한 많았으니까요. 혹시 모를 안전을 위해 저를 포함한 관계자들은 모두 귀마개를 착용할 예정입니다.
Watch us not get earplugs.
라만차랜드라는 게 생겨나면 뭐부터 해야 하지?
You gotta go in and slap every single building until it all falls over. You gotta red faction gorilla this shit.
일단 너희들이 라만차랜드에 입장하고 나면 반드시 곧바로 전투태세에 돌입해야 한다.
Oh, it's not gonna be so overt. Like, not something like this. What's gonna happen is we're gonna walk in and everything's gonna be fine and there'll be people wandering up to us like, hey, welcome to La Mancha land. This place is great. I love it. And then the team starts getting picked off slowly, one by one. Either dragged away or distracted or tempted or something like that. This will not just be walk in and it's combat time. No way. It's gonna be much more insidious than that. Unless I'm dead wrong.
그곳에서 너희들이 마주할 것들은 풍선을 나눠주는 친절한 피에로도 팝콘을 튀겨주는 직원도 반갑게 손을 흔들면 노래를 불러주는 자들도 아니다.
See, I'm not sure I believe that. I think it will legitimately be like a warm front concealing something a lot worse. Or it will be overtly hostile.
혈기들 뿐이겠지.
Oh, okay, so it's confirmed that there are blood fiends there. We do know that. Okay, I thought it might have just been assumed, or maybe, but we, as the player, might assume that there are blood fiends here because it's Don Quixote's fucking Kanto, and Don Quixote is a blood fiend, so... Okay.
뭐 혈기가 진짜 있긴 한가?
They're real?
한참 전에 도시의 별로 유명했다던 피피밤 몰라? 그게 엄청난 혈기였다는 소문이 자자했었는데.
The Blood Red Knight was a really powerful blood fiend because she took control of a fucking color fixer. No one remembers the Vermilion Cross.
그 소문이 진짜인지 아닌지 누가 알아? 뭐만 하면 살이 붙어서 사실 별거 아니었던 소문들이 얼마나 많은데.
It was actually more crazy than you could imagine.
소문. 핏빛밤이 얼마나 즐기고 처참할 정도로 강했는지 평생 모를 너희들은 감히 그렇게 입에 가볍게 올릴 자격이 없다.
He has a point.
그래. 그곳에서 너희를 맞이하는 건 오로지 혈귀로 인해 피주머니로 변해버린 자들. 그리고 너희의 피로 갈증을 추리기 위해 이빨을 갈고 있는 굶주린 혈귀들 뿐이다.
So we're gonna be fighting an army of blood bags?
아까 미처 전달을 다 못 드렸지만 라만차랜드를 이루고 있는 재료들은 인간의 혈액입니다. 약 200년 전의 것이죠.
I knew it was gonna be something fucked up if stupid asshole hadn't cut off the fucking briefing. I knew it was gonna be something like this.
혈귀는 피로 놀이공원을 만들 수도 있는 건가요?
Yes, Sinclair, but specifically amusement parks, nothing else, no other kind of building. If it could be considered any other kind of building, it immediately falls apart. It has to follow a stringent test process to be confirmed as part of an amusement park, or it doesn't work. Blood Fiend rules are very specific.
오로지 혈기들 뿐이라는 건 좀 마음에 드는군. 어중간한 놈들은 금세 쭉쭉 낮아빠질 테니까.
I'm looking forward to them making mincemeat out of you, mate, I gotta be honest.
해결사들은 말투가 다 저래? 전에 이스도 호수에서 저렇게 말했던 것 같은데.
To be fair, I think it's because there are so many things in the city that are that dangerous. Yeah, you've got the whales, you've got blood fiends. Both of them are massive, massive, extremely powerful problems. Syndicates probably seem fairly small time to us now from the perspective we're in, you know, having played like Library of Ruina and now playing as these guys, but we don't really know how big a syndicate can get. Are we talking like some syndicates might be a couple dozen, some might be hundreds, some could potentially be thousands. We don't know. It could be. There are a lot of things in the city that are that dangerous.
까딱하다가는 목숨이 날아가게 생긴 마당에 눈앞에 놈들이 태평하게 졸기나 하고 있으면 심성이 사나워지게 된다고요.
Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense. That provides a lot. That statement alone provides a lot of context, both to back then and to this now. Fair enough. That is absolutely fair enough.
안 졸았어. 아까 어떤 새끼가 내 발에 있는 힘껏 밟아댔거든.
You must have been trying really hard to doze if you just continue trying to doze instead of shouting at the person who stepped on your foot.
날씨가 좋네요 오늘.
Sinclair, mate, we're inside. Like, you're gonna try and change the subject. At least you sound context relevant. It was Sinclair who was stepping on his foot at the rather forcible behest of Ishmael, but I held my silence. The last thing I wanted was to have the two of them bickering again.
이어가자면 라만차랜드 안에서 약 6시간 정도가 지나면 퇴장을 알리는 음악이 나오기 시작할 거다. 이 또한 생존하여 돌아온 해결사들과 입장객에게서 나온 일관된 증언이지.
So within 6 hours, music will start playing, announcing the closure of the park.
퇴장 음악이 들릴 때부터 30분 내외로 라마체랜드를 벗어나지 않으면 너희들은 다음 토벌이 열릴 때까지 라마체랜드에 갇혀버리게 된다. 사실상 혈귀들과의 기약 없는 동침이지.
Oh, that's fucking radical. You'll be trapped inside until it manifests here again. Spooky.
그때까지 살아남는 놈들이 있다면 말이지.
I doubt you will.
특정 놀이기구엔 실종자들이 탑승하고 있다고 증언 또한 있었습니다만 여러분이 신경 쓸 요소는 아닐 겁니다.
They're probably like stuck there forever or something. Like it's a roller coaster with an IV bag hooked up and it just harvests their blood for the blood fiends.
지금까지 파악된 증언들을 토대로 본다면 라만체랜드는 총 4개의 구역으로 나누어져 있다. 생존자들의 정보들을 통해 만든 지도를 보여주지.
Ooh, fun.
현 시점에서 이 마지막 구역까지 진입한 자들은 아무도 없다.
And it just so happens to be where the Golden Bough is. Go figure.
단 1, 2, 3구역의 특정 장치를 모두 가동시켜야지만 마지막 구역에 입장이 가능하다는 것만 파악되었지.
Wow, they really are turning this into a video game location, aren't they?
참고로 현재까지 가동되었던 장치는 1구역과 2구역뿐. 아직 3구역은 가동된 적이 없다.
Due to a collection of boss fights between the entrance and Area 3.
좋아. 우리들은 곧바로 3구역으로 달려가면 되는 건가?
Unless we have to reactivate them again.
아니, 모든 장치는 라만차랜드가 사라짐과 동시에 초기화된다.
It's such a video game location.
즉, 여기 있는 인원들을 나누어서 각각 1구역부터 3구역까지 입장을 해야 한다는 것입니다.
So this is why we needed so many fixes, because it's going to be like, all right, here's some all-out attacks on areas 1 and 2 to then converge on 3 and then finally push on to 4.
알았어. 각자 맡은 구역으로 간 후에 장치를 가동시키고 다 같이 마지막 구역에서 집결해야 한다는 거군.
God, the casualties are going to be massive.
1, 2, 3구역의 모든 장치를 가동했다는 전제하에 말이야.
So the allocation of talented individuals is going to be important as well, because each one needs to be activated or everyone dies. So there's a heavy emphasis on the theme of carrying your weight in this canto so far, I've noticed. There's a lot of emphasis on like making sure you're doing your part, that you're, like I just said, carrying your weight for the sake of the people around you.
맞습니다. 라만차랜드 토벌의 핵심은 마지막 구역에 있지 않을까 추측하고 있죠.
And if it's not?
그쪽에서 말하고 싶은 것이 있나?
He seems like he has a lot of things he likes to share. He seems to enjoy talking.
재밌잖아요. 1, 2, 3 구역의 모든 장치를 가동시켜야 하지만 마지막 구역이 개방된다는 규칙은
It is extremely video game-esque, yes.
마치 놀이 같지 않나요? 라만 차렌들을 토벌하러 오는 우리에게 의도적으로 조건을 세워주고 있는 것 같이.
Considering the quirky nature of Blood Fiends, it doesn't surprise me that they're setting this up like a game. They'll be watching, they'll find it entertaining.
우리가 혈귀들의 속내를 어떻게 알겠어? 날 때부터 악하게 태어난 족속들이니.
Surely the whole point of hunting something is to attempt to understand it first.
하나, 확인이 필요한 사항이 있다.
You know, her name's not Hana, right? That's just the association she's from.
우리 협회는 토벌금을 목표로 온 것이 아닌 의뢰자의 구출을 위해 참여했다.
Ah.
우리 협회라고 정없이 말하지 말고 쉔크 협회도 함께 말해줄래?
Oh lord, but we've been trying.
따라서 츠바이 협회와 쉔크 협회는 1, 2, 3구역으로 들어가 장치를 가동시킬 이유가 없는 상황이다.
That is a bit of a wrinkle, isn't it?
여기에 대해서는 당신이 말해주는 게 정확하겠군.
이곳에 모인 여러분들은 각자 다양한 이유로 인해서 왔을 거라고 생각합니다.
I should clarify, I think I have before in previous cantos, I'm not rapidly clicking to try and skip through dialogue. When I'm rapidly clicking, I'm not trying to just cut through his dialogue and skip his lines. I'm trying to get all of the text to show up, and sometimes the text is so short that I end up skipping the entire line. Whenever it happens, it's not intentional, I promise. I promise you, I'm not doing it on purpose.
따라서 저희 피사에서는 토벌 분배금이라는 것을 책정하여 라만 차렌드 토벌에 각자가 얼만큼의 기여를 했는지를 계산한 후 지급할 예정입니다.
I love the Eradication Dividend Fund, and if they ever make a fixer game, I want that not to necessarily be exactly the same as this, but I'd want that to be a thing where it's like, okay, you're in a joint operation, and you'll probably have your own objective, like you've been, for example, let's use Fire and Sink here, you've been hired by a client to rescue someone, right? But the association in charge of this operation, this joint operation, will pay you extra if you risk yourself to contribute more to the overall operation, and you have to pull out. Either you do so much that the operation is just a success and you get the full fucking reward alongside what your client's already paying you, bearing in mind you need to keep the person, you need to succeed at your client's objective, but also you either do so well that you get all of it and get the full pay, or you stick in for as long as you can and measure the risk and then pull out when it gets too dangerous. That's the kind of shit I want. Someday. I know Project Moon's thinking about it at the very least.
뭐 토벌이 무사히 된다는 가정에서겠지.
Yeah, we could all just die.
따라서 토벌이 목표가 아니신 분들은 그 정산에서 제외된다는 것만 유의해 주신다면 별도의 의뢰를 완수하러 구역을 이탈하셔도 문제는 없습니다.
That is surprisingly reasonable, I gotta say. That is actually really reasonable.
하지만 정확히 어떤 내용의 의뢰인지 그 계약서의 사본을 제출해 주셔야 합니다.
That's a request, not an order, which is strange. It might be an order phrased as a request.
확인했다. 회의가 끝나면 바로 제출토록 하지.
Svaya's so cool. She's so cool.
말 나온 김에 지금 이 자리에서 선포하지. 은근슬쩍 우리 사무소에 묻어가서 도벌금을 한탕 해보려는 놈들은 사냥 대상에 포함시킨다.
Buddy, I don't know how to tell you this, and there's no real way to tell someone this. Like, you know, how would you even broach this subject? But you don't have a name. Your name is Bloodfiend Hunter. You're going to die. You might want to get your affairs in order before we go.
아, 참고로 얘 진짜 한다며 하는 놈이야. 내가 못 말린다.
Now this guy, maybe. Probably gonna end up being a boss fight though. But that guy, nah, he's dead. He's so dead.
살벌하네.
비록 돈이 걸려있는 의뢰이긴 하지만 더 이상의 실종자와 희생자들이 발생하지 않도록 하는 것이 우리의 궁극적인 목표다. 따라서 모두가 아낌없이 힘을 모아야 하는 작전이라는 걸 명심해 주도록.
You've called together a band of like thugs and self-serving mercenaries. They're not gonna work together. They're all gonna be trying to get the biggest payout possible.
가능하다면 협조하지.
This will fall apart the moment any pressure is applied on the overall force. And she knows it. She straight up knows it. But it's not her responsibility and she doesn't care either. The Hana fixer did not contradict him. She was the kind of person who wouldn't hesitate to put her foot down. She could have easily forced us into cooperating, but it seemed that she wouldn't keep us from infighting if it did come to that. She's realistic. Don Quixote was the only one passionately nodding along to her advice.
각 구역으로 가는 조는 어떻게 편성할 계획이죠?
Yeah, we're never going to be able to decide that ourselves, are we? Zishun, Honglu's little sister who had been listening quietly to the briefing, raised her hand with a question.
우리가 내부적으로 파악한 여러분들의 능력이나 잠재력, 소속별 인원을 토대로 적절하게 배치할 생각이다.
Interesting.
그럼 한 구역에 너무 많은 인원이 가는 건 피해야겠네요.
Probably.
가령 우리 인원과 10명 이상의 떼거지 인원들이 섞인다던가.
God, she really doesn't want to work with Honglu.
너무 많은 인원이 한 구역에 다 몰리는 건 최대한 피할 생각이다.
We're still going to end up working with her, aren't we? She's going to be super mad.
쟤 너무 노골적인데.
Nope.
딱히 저희 쪽에서도 같이 다니고 싶었던 건 아니지만.
Wow, Sundari Sinclair. Sinclair. It's not like we wanted her to tag along or anything, Babaka-chan.
더 이상 질문이 없다면 마지막으로 각 구역에 나눌 조를 짜서 여러분께 전달을.
I'm curious as to who we're actually going to be assigned to. It's exciting.
잠깐!
Oh, Don Quixote. No. Come on, you've been doing so well. Every single fixer in the room whipped around to look at Don Quixote at her bellowing roar. Perhaps it was the sheer fervor in her voice, or perhaps they were simply annoyed by her asking that one last question when the boring briefing was almost over.
이거 제 환청이 아니라
Ishmael, it's happening.
진짜 돈 키호테 씨 목소리인가요?
It's absolutely happening. This is occurring now. It's going to occur, lest y'all forget that this is a combat section.
오, 야. 아, 이제 진짜 못했어.
Oh! Snapped him awake.
어쩌면 지금이야말로 자는 척을 할 타이밍일지 몰라.
Now's the time to take a nap, trust me.
옛날 같았으면 직결 처분이었다.
It still might.
무엇이죠?
You could have more calmly just been like, excuse me, I have a question.
제일 중요한 전달 사항이 빠진 것 같네만.
The question is, who are the missing people? I'm gonna guess.
그랬나요? 잠시만요.
Alessio began flipping through the briefing, flustered. Poor guy.
방문객들을 구조하는 작업은 언제 하게 되는 것인가?
Yeah, well, roughly what I said.
스바이 협회분들과 쉔크 협회분들만으로는 방문객들의 구출이 다소 힘들 수 있을 것 같아서 말일세.
And they're only going after specific people, not everyone in the park.
너 혹시 말이야 새로운 컨셉 뭐 그런 거야?
God, I hate you.
아 신선하긴 하네. 물론 그런 걸 좋아하는 사람들도 있긴 하지. 유행은 조금 지나버렸지만 적어도 우리 시청자들은 좋아할 것 같진 않은걸.
Your viewers aren't here. You stopped live streaming like 20 minutes ago. Who cares? Shut up.
다소 오해가 있는 듯하군. 우리의 목표는 방문객 전원 구출이 아니다. 보안상 자세히 말할 순 없지만 우리의 의뢰인은 특정 방문객의 생존을 확인하고 신병을 확보할 것을 요구했다.
Yeah.
그렇다면 나머지 사람들을 구출하는 역할은 누가 맡게 되는 것인가?
We're gonna send in, oh boy, it's warm in here. I don't know, Jun's office. We're gonna send in Jun's office once you're done. Yeah, we'll send in Jun's office to take care of it. Don't worry. Who's Jun's office? Never you mind. Just a guy. He likes to punch and he likes smoking. We'll send him in. He'll take care of it. Don't worry about it.
얘 진심인가?
God, I hate you.
어디 손님들인데?
Oh, now she's making all of us look stupid.
뭐야? 나도.
I didn't mean to skip that.
뭐야? 나도 좀 보자.
She's like, hold up. Who's this fool?
우리처럼 별도로 계약을 치르고 온 것이 아니라면 실종자 구출에 대한 보상금은 전단지들을 통해 확인해 보는 게 좋을 것 같군.
Oh, that was probably the wrong thing to say.
본인은 보상금에 대한 이야기를 하고 있는 게 아닐세.
She shockingly actually just wants to help them.
이렇게 인원이 많은데 왜 구출하는 역할은 아무도 맡지 않은 것인가? 스파이 협회, 그대들은 당신의 방패라는 표어를.
Well, you see, my badge says that, but there's a little bit of dust over the rest of the quote, you know, of the motto. And she rubs it off, and it's like, your shield for a price.
방패긴 방패지. 정식으로 의뢰를 신청한 자에게만 세워지는 철의 방패.
Yep, there it is. They're more bodyguards than knights. Same with Sync, I imagine. Well, same with everyone in the city.
해결사는 고작 돈의 흐름으로 목숨을 저울질하진 않아야 하지 않나? 대체 언제부터 협회 해결사들이 이렇게 전락되었는가?
Has it not always been the case?
못 들어주겠군. 지금 내가 누군지는 알고 그런 소리를.
No one cares.
알고 있네 까뮤군. 쉔크협회 3가 소속 해결사 월간 잡지에도 꾸준히 게재되는 자. 현재 같이 저녁을 먹고 싶은 해결사의 7위.
Yeah, she's done her research.
잘 알고 있네. 뭐 잠깐. 고작 7위야?
It's okay, man. It's only because you're incredibly obnoxious.
뭐 그건 그렇다 치고. 그래. 그러면 이것 또한 알고 있겠지.
It is interesting, actually, that Don is so knowledgeable about fixers, yet doesn't seem to understand their core principle, which is kind of a lack of principles, actually. But then again, I guess she sees fixers purely from an audience perspective. Not us, the audience, but like the public of the city. But even the public of the city seems more familiar with what fixers are like, that they are just money-hungry mercenaries. Dawn, you know, can be silly and dumb and act silly and dumb, but she's not actually dumb. So it's curious as to why she so fervently believes that they are as honorable as she thinks they are. Because there is plenty of evidence, even without the adventures she's been on with Limbus Company, to suggest their lack of upstanding morals.
우리 쉔크 협회는 할 말이 있을 때 단순히 입으로 나불거리진 않아. 정식적으로 결투를 신청하지. 목숨을 걸고.
God, I don't think we're gonna win, but I really fucking hope we win.
그렇다면
Then?
결투에서 이긴다면 본인의 말을 진정으로 들어주는 것인가?
Alright, yeah, because she won't kill him. Yeah, fair enough.
뭐?
만약 본인이 승리한다면 본인을 도와 실종자들을 구출할 것을 맹세할 수 있는지 묻는 것일세.
Wait, our rescue mission?
그럼 네 말은 나한테.
She clearly is, yes. No.
이 돈키호테 신념에 따라 그대에게 결투를 신청하겠네.
I don't know how this is gonna go. Things were quickly starting to spiral out of control. Probably time for Dante to step in and be like, no. But I think it's too late for that. Almost panicking, I glanced toward Virgilius. Dante, you're slipping again. You're in charge here, remember? He's like, ugh, fuck it, whatever. It's not like she's gonna die. But I couldn't read his expression. He was simply staring at us in that inscrutable silence. Silence that almost felt like warmth? That's unusual. Somehow, I found myself getting more intimidated by this than outright anger.
일단 브리핑은 이걸로 마치는 걸로 하겠습니다.
I guess we'll all pile outside and watch the duel where I presume that Don Quixote is going to get absolutely rocked.
지금까지의 경험상 제지하는 것은 불가능할 듯 보인다.
I feel like we should try.
동공이 평소보다 확장되어 있고 미간을 잔뜩 찌푸린 것으로 봐서는 어떤 말을 하든 소용없을 가능성이 높아 보이기 때문이다.
I'm 90% certain that you're right, Merceau, but I still feel like we should try? So she's lost it.
단테, 공터에서의 전투는 보는 눈이 적어서 말하지 않았습니다만 지금처럼 해결사들의 시선이 몰린 상황에서 소득 없는 전투를 위해 시계를 공개적으로 돌리는 것은 추천드리지 않습니다.
That's interesting. So does she kind of need to win this? Or are we gonna have to wait a while before we bring her back? Or actually, is it gonna be a case of we can't bring her back at all if she dies because the fixers are gonna be like, how the fuck did she turn back? How did she come back? We saw her die. It's a very public duel. That's an interesting thought.
또한 다른 세계의 인격을 가져오는 것, 에고의 사용 또한 마찬가지입니다.
But we've already summoned an identity from a different world. We did it against the vampire hunters. He commented on the transformations. And we can't use ego either. Well, yeah, but it's not like we won't be using them once we get inside, right? I don't see what's wrong with... Just as I was trying to convince Faust otherwise, Don Quixote stepped in and resolutely shook her head.
아니, 필요 없으니 걱정 마시게.
Don Quixote, I think ego is a very necessary crutch, actually. It kind of won most of the mirror dungeons and refraction railways for me. I'm not good enough to win without them. As we've seen on camera, towards the end of a mirror dungeon, the hard ones at least, it is ego spam all fucking day. Oh, seriously?
싱크 협회의 결투는 정정당당해야 하는 법. 처음부터 본인은 신성한 결투에 관리자 나리의 힘을 빌릴 생각은 없었다네.
Marvelous. She's gonna lose.
주위에 내 팬들이 없다는 게 조금 아쉽긴 하지만 여기에 모인 사람들 누군가는 입소문을 내주겠지.
I mean, I feel like we could step outside and he could just set up his camera. And then he could, but I'm glad he won't.
내 온정을 담아 장갑은 던지지 않도록 하지. 무기를 뽑아라, 애송이.
Oh boy. We're not gonna win this. We're not gonna win this. There's no way she wins this. Pierce damage up. Well, let's at least see what you're about, huh? Inflict declared Kudul Camille. +1 clash power on hit, gain haste. Yeah, it's pretty similar to the thing we already know. This speed is faster than the target's gain 1 pierce damage up. Heal 7 SP, gain haste equal to poise on self next turn. Yep. Use salute if the target is staggered. I'm guessing that's like a kill move or something. When using a skill against the same slot this unit successfully hit last turn, gain the following effects based on the number of consecutive turns it successfully hit the slot. Resets if this unit failed to attack last turn. More clash power. So every time he hits, it gets worse. Yeah, we're gonna lose. There's no 4 plus 7. It's 4 plus 7, that's funny. It's completely neutral, yeah. But if we won, then we'd gain haste. So that would be cool. Oh, no. I mean, I could use the evade, but realistically speaking, it has actually the same amount of chance of winning as, or even less actually, than Joust. Nah, just go for it. See what happens. Olé! Oh. That seemed fixed. That seemed a little bit fixed. Gain 1 clash power up next turn for every 10% of the missing HP. Okay, gain 1 bind next turn for every 10% of this missing HP, but he gets more powerful attacks. What if we just use galloping tilt and then a bunch of dodging? That'll do it. Hey! Nice. Not nice. Bad. Also bad. You're gonna use salute. Alright, that's pretty cool. I gotta give him credit. Is the fight over already? Okay. They don't let you suffer for too long. That's good.
이까지 상처로는 본인을 굴복시킬 수 없다네.
We did get hit in though. We got some hits in. We did. And Dante's like, yeah. Kinda. Yeah. Basically, yeah. That was definitely more than just a light wound. It was outright crippling, if not fatal. Camille wasn't all talk after all. He moved at an impressive speed and precision, living up to his boasts. Unfortunately, there is a reason he got to the position where he is, even if it is very frustrating. I couldn't bear to look at Don Quixote squirm in pain, but turning the clock here would leave an even greater wound in her heart.
아직 끝나지 않았다네.
Do some of that blood fiend shit and tear his head off. It'll be funny. Everyone will hate us, but it'll be totally worth it.
더 상대하기도 아까운 자군. 이런 싸움이 소문나면 괜히 내 이미지만 망가지겠어.
Oh, no.
그만해라, 까미오. 만인의 안전을 바라는 것이 잘못된 생각은 아니지 않나.
Even if she did go about it in a very disruptive way, still.
상대를 못 가리고 버튼 소리를 짓거리는 것은 고쳐야 마땅하지.
No one cares who you are. They really don't.
해결사가 어쩌고 나불대다니. 언제부터 해결사가?
I hope she kills him. I hope she kills him now.
소라는 여기까지 하도록 할까? 라만차랜드에 진입하기 전에 쓸데없이 힘을 빼놓는 건 피하고 싶군. 더 이상 힘겨루기를 이어간다면 내가 직접 제재를 하겠다.
Yeah, she would body us though, for real.
약 1시간 정도가 남았군요. 1시간 후에는 언제 라만차랜드가 나타날지 모르니 팀마다 모여 계셔 주시는 게 안전할 거예요.
Yeah, we're gonna kind of want to get there the moment it arrives. Is this the empty lot where it arrives? It's literally here. It's an empty lot, obviously. If either this is where it shows up or they've predicted that this is where it shows up. That's why this is an empty lot. Okay, yeah, it took me way too long to realize that, okay? The momentary kerfuffle came to a close thanks to the Hunter Association's intervention. She's not gonna be happy about that one. And only silence and occasional groans of pain from Don Quixote filled the empty lot. Let's get back inside. I can't turn my clock in front of so many people. Yeah, that was pretty embarrassing. We landed one hit.
아직 끝나지 않았다네.
Interesting, she has unique dialogue here, and we did get experience and, you know, lunacy as a reward, so that's nice. How generous. That is all we have time for today, ladies and gentlemen. Another fruitful venture into Kanto 7. A lot of cool stuff happening. It's genuinely interesting. There are so many characters, so many concepts. I'm looking forward to getting to La Mancha Land, right? Like, shit's gonna go real sideways when it shows up and we get in there, and that is gonna be exciting. I am fully counting on the fact that Project Moon will continue their trend of extremely high casualty rates in situations with a lot of characters, so it's gonna get real bloody, I'm pretty sure. And that's exciting, and I'm looking forward to it. And just, you know, Kanto in general. Thank you so much for watching. Special thanks to our members and patrons: Tony the Horse, Cryolytic, Abyssal Angie, Speedchan, Grand Captain General Peace, Beanbag Turtle, Malignant Humors, NIL, Cuds, Kana Samaria, Poe, Porkchop Lebrec, Lifesteal, Mega Mr. Z-Man, Unclever Name, Lumen, Summercat, Flanny, Pinch Dragoon, Lyle the Hagsire ×2, Lipotatoes, Proxy, Caminera, Moa, Heartland, Harrick J, Dresso, Xeon Distance, Lol, Etherbin, Linky, Xeon, Cedar, Bimwatch, Majoko, Maimun, Alkia, Honeydew, Sweet Baby Red, Jess Kitty, Plutonium, Pie, Dreamer Ghost, Slap Lullaby, K-Bub, Magic Cow, The Frostbite, Monsoon, SCP-106A, Namad, and Kenny TA100 for supporting me on Patreon. Thank you so much, guys, and on YouTube, and thank you all so much for watching. There's a lot of aspects I'm definitely curious about potentially getting closure / more context for. Like, we got a little snippet at the beginning of the Kanto showing potentially where Don Quixote's attitude and impression of fixes came from. But I'm curious, we know nothing of her past, so it's like, where was she raised? When was this drilled into her? The blood fiend inside her is like centuries, if not millennia old, like, you know, almost one of the original vampires or something. But I don't presume that Don Quixote herself is. I assume she contains the spirit of one and isn't actually the blood fiend. I don't know. I literally don't know. I have no context for that whatsoever until later on in the Kanto, and I don't want to hear a fucking word about it either. But there's a lot I'm wondering. Where was she raised? What values were installed in her, and by whom? And how is that going to affect what happens? Like, going into La Mancha Land, she's going to see fixers not only die in mass, but obviously be massive cowards and run away. She's going to see those same fixers probably attempt to sacrifice other fixers so they can get away. She's going to see fixers attempt to kill or put others in danger to increase the amount of reward they gain. And they're also going to see fixers showing a complete and utter disregard for the lives of, you know, the kidnapped people, the missing peoples. And how is she going to react to that? Obviously not well, but, like, the details of that is going to be very interesting, I think. But that's then. This is now. Thank you so much for watching, and whatever happens next time, I hope I see you there. Toodles. Goodbye.